Now, I would really like to give the word to a beautiful young lady, Mildred Atanasio. She is one of my participants. She is not a Parkinson's patient, but she's the daughter of. And I would like to give her a warm applause.
Good evening, everybody. Your Excellency, Mr. Vlemix, good evening. Before I start, I would like to excuse myself for referring to my notes, but I really do not wish to leave anything out. I am Mildred, and my mother is Rita. My mom has plenty of beautiful things, but then she also has Parkinson's disease. This was a somewhat stormy year for us. In January, my dear father went to meet the Lord, and only a few weeks later, my mom was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. How did it all begin? She started noticing the first symptoms last year. Oops, thank you. She started noticing the first symptoms last year after she underwent a knee replacement operation, and shortly after she noticed shaking on one hand. We did not make too much fuss about it, but then in January, after the shock we had, she felt that this shaking seemed to have increased. Therefore, she decided to seek professional advice. When given the news about Parkinson's disease, of course we were shocked, but we did not know much about it, and we were not given much information about it either. When you need to know anything, you tend to go on the internet and look up information there. This could be very useful, and one might even be lucky enough to find helpful advice, but it could also be misleading. It is not the best way for a person to educate him or herself, but one does become a little more aware. Luckily, my mom came across a newspaper article about the Malta Parkinson's Disease Association while reading the newspaper. On the very same article, there was a mention of dance classes aimed for people with Parkinson's disease. I had no idea that there was such a thing as an association for Parkinson's disease, let alone dance classes, and I contacted the association at once. I also asked about these classes, and they referred me to Natalie. That was when we learned about Step Up for Parkinson's. Natalie encouraged us a lot to start attending, but I had my doubts about this, as I did not know how eager my mom would be. Whatever she did until last year, she did it with my father, and therefore, even simply living the usual routines now had their difficulties, let alone having to step out of her comfort zone and try out new things. Had it been an opportunity for me or my siblings, she would have jumped at the occasion, but not for herself. I am saying this and talking about the difficulties because neither to be negative and nor to play the victim, because I honestly do not feel I am one or she or even the other ones with Parkinson's disease. I am merely explaining that even in dark moments, there could be a ray of light once the first step is taken, which eventually my mother did take. I showed her a few videos which Natalie posts on social media, and saw first of all that she was not alone, but she also saw that what they did during the classes was adapted for people with Parkinson's disease. We joked and said that she will now become a ballerina, but in those jokes there was always a little doubt. I kept on insisting. After all she does often remind me how stubborn I am, and she took the first step. She agreed to come for one class, just the one class, nothing more. It is a very nice thing that a person does not have to attend Step Up for Parkinson's on their own, but they can be accompanied by a loved one, another person. So we went together. The people who already attended were so warm. The teacher, Natalie, together with Amy and Michelle, are cheerful, positive people, always ready to encourage everyone, and they have a wonderful attitude towards life. I did not expect to have so much fun or to do so well. I started seeing a new side to my mother. At first she was very shy, as was I, but by time I noticed she became more confident, and I am so proud of the huge steps she is making towards the right direction. Apart from physically, Step Up for Parkinson's is helping my mom mentally as well. For example, when she comes up with creative movements during the classes, when she remembers the movements in a sequence, sometimes quite complex, when she follows instructions, even emotionally, talking about how she feels or what she is going through, while listening to and understanding the others as well. And even socially, she is meeting the most wonderful people. They share a word or a joke between friends. They are precious people. I mention this because for people with Parkinson's disease, from the little I know, it is very important that there is a holistic stimulation, not just physical. Parkinson's disease hits different parts of a person, and each person is hit in different ways as well. Parkinson's disease is not just about the shaking, as I always thought it was until last year. There could be body pain, sometimes depression, effects on memory, on how a person eats and speaks, on coordination and movement, and other aspects of life. It is such a shame that in 2017, with so many means of communication and so much education, that many people remain uneducated on Parkinson's disease, as I was as well. But not only people like myself, who come from a big background other than medicine, even professionals and students aspiring to become doctors. Of course, it is humanly not possible for a person to know about all the different conditions in the world, but a simple direction or a telephone number of the association could be a great help for a person who maybe was not so lucky as we were to come across a newspaper article. For my family, this is a somewhat new situation. Some moments are not so easy to go through, but some moments with the help of Step Up for Parkinson's are much better than if we had to live through them alone. Furthermore, I can also add that there are even beautiful moments along this journey. I wish for the whole world to know about Step Up for Parkinson's, or at least we could begin with Malta. I wish for other people to live Parkinson's disease with Step Up for Parkinson's. You do not have to be a dancer. You do not need any particular talents. As I have explained, my mother had her doubts before she started, but she still did. A little encouragement is all there is to it, and sometimes even a lot of encouragement, which unfortunately not everyone could find within the family. This is why I believe it is important that awareness is raised and more help is offered to people with Parkinson's disease, so they could take their first step. Then once you start, you get hooked, especially when you visit the neurologist and he tells you, keep attending the classes, I will not increase your dose because you are doing well. Thank God, and also thanks to Step Up for Parkinson's. The great company, we have it. A place where to attend, although it could be much better, but we have it as well. Motivation and enthusiasm, we have in abundance. The excellent teachers, we have those too. All we need is the voice to encourage people to learn more and involve themselves more in Parkinson's disease, for more research to take place about Parkinson's disease, a voice to spread the good news, which is Step Up for Parkinson's among everybody, because like my mother and I are enjoying the fruits of it, I wish for others to go to the neurologist and be told, keep on dancing, I will not increase your dose, you are doing well. Thank you, Your Excellency, for honoring us with your presence and for all your support. Thank you, Mr. Vlemix, for being here and for inspiring people to dance for health. Thank you, Natalie, for making life with Parkinson's disease so much brighter, happier, and much more colorful. And thank you all for your attention and for whatever you do for Parkinson's disease, big and small. Thank you.